Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're listening to Batman on Film.
I'm vengeance.
I have given a name to my pain.
The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill the Bat of Gotham. I'm Batman.
Welcome to episode number 113 of the Batman on Film Social Hour. The Social Hour, a Batman on Film podcast. Pete Verra. This is my show. Dadgummit.
This is it. Yeah. Taking care of business.
We got like TCB. TCP, baby. We've got like 47 shows now on the BOF network. So
I think like 44 of them are hosted by Ryan Lauer.
I've just I've carved one out for myself. So this is it. So what's been going on?
Nothing.
Be Verra, everybody.
Enjoying baseball season has just started here, so things are underway.
Well, I got to say that
okay.
I have been a little engaged in baseball because the Rangers have been playing well. So keeps me interested. The Mavs completely stunk up the joint at the end of the season and didn't miss the damn playoffs. Then they tanked. They tanked the last.
Kyrie Irving.
Nothing to do with Kyrie Irving, and he was fine. It was just they couldn't play. No defense. They tanked, man. So we'll see what happens with them going forward. But now I'm just I got my spring football that I'll watch just because it's football on TV with the XFL and.
And then the USFL, isn't that coming out soon?
It just started this last weekend. Yeah.
You watching that?
I will watch it once the XFL's done.
Okay.
XFL will be done. I mean, they've got 1 week of regular season, I think 2 rounds of the playoffs, and then they're done. So
I feel like you could watch the combine and be happy.
That I do not. You know who watched that? Jake Ramey watches it. My son.
He likes that?
He watches it, yes.
Right.
I do not watch the combine though. But the draft is coming. The draft is next week.
All right.
So
who's going number 1? You know?
I don't even know quarterbacks. CJ Stroud, someone.
Mm-hmm.
One of these picks. One of these quarterbacks, I'm sure will go at the top. So, yeah. That's all that's been going on around here. Want to talk weather?
It's been kind of crazy out here lately. I mean, we've got a couple 80 days, a couple.
Didn't you have
days.
a heat wave up in the Northeast?
We had like 3 days of like 80s to 90s, and then reached like 100, and then it kind of got really cloudy and rainy.
You hit 100 already up there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, but it's already turned into Seattle. So
okay.
It's all rainy and mopey right now. So we'll see what happens next week.
I did see that. I looked at the weather up there, and I saw it was like really warm, like summer warm.
It was
almost
nice
like
for a couple days. Almost
like Texas summer warm. And then here it was, we were still having 40s and 70s. So that all will change soon. It'll be hotter than Hades here directly. All right. That's enough witty banter for today. I think we'll get right to talk some Batman. So the Flash is coming out. Did you know that there's a Flash movie coming?
I can't believe it's coming out. After everything this movie's been through, how many directors, the starts, the stops. I mean, and now that it's actually going to happen, like we've gotten posters and trailers and TV spots and toys, and Michael Keaton's back, and I can't believe we're here.
I said for years,
it's kind of surreal.
I did say for years I would believe it when I see it. When in regards to a Flash movie happening. Well, I'm seeing it, so
remember back in the day, Goyer said it's kind of hard to make a movie about a guy who just runs really fast.
It is. Apparently it is. I mean,
Goyer's had some hot takes, so that's actually one of the calmer ones. But
I don't disagree with that.
He tried.
You've got to find the right story and really with with the Flash, you almost got to have time travel, alternate realities, and all that stuff, to make an interesting story to me. If it's a movie with the Flash running fast the whole time, taking on Gorilla Grodd or Captain Cold or what's the other one? The Boomerang dude.
Captain Boomerang.
Captain
I
Boomerang.
think my Keaton action figure actually just arrived. The dogs are going crazy.
Oh, okay. Well, that's perfect timing because I was going to ask you. Well, anyway, apparently they found a very interesting story, a very cool story to tell,
and the right director. Like Muschietti,
Yeah.
he's at the time of his hire, there was nobody hotter at the time behind the lens. Like he's a coming off those two It movies. He was held within very high regard. So they love their New Line horror guys, and Muschietti fits the bill.
Yeah, I mean, would you like the Flash character, right?
Big fan. Yeah. I got
Okay,
a
so
whole shelf behind me.
wouldn't you think just being impartial and it is tough. A movie, like I said, if you just had Flash running around Central City doing, running at light speed and doing, running fast, and he was just, typical taking down the bad guy, be it, I don't know, I named three of them. Give me credit for that. Captain Boomerang. He's Captain Boomerang, right?
Captain Boomerang, yeah. You have the top.
Captain Boomerang. It's Captain Cold, right? That's his.
There's a lot of captains here. We
Yeah, a
got
lot of
Heat Wave.
captains.
We got the top. We
Okay,
have,
so if you're just
Weather
doing
Wizard,
if you're fighting that, it's not that interesting of a story. Wouldn't you agree? Gorilla Grodd, whatever,
I think you could. Well, I mean, if you really want me to nerd out, I think Gorilla Grodd could create some kind of interesting aspect for a movie with his mind control, blah blah blah. But I I do like the Flash villains. I think the Flash has a wonderful array of villains. I think he has way more villains than like a character like Aquaman does, and Aquaman kind of got his straight up one-on-one villain a movie. I wouldn't mind it, but then again, like they didn't exactly do that on the TV show, so then you're wondering, like, maybe you're right, maybe that's not exactly as appealing. And there's been like two versions of the show.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of a big, this.
But at the same time, like, I look at this movie and I do say I kind of wish it was more of a true Flash film. Like nothing is really more Flash than Flashpoint, right? Going back in time, Barry saving his mom, blah blah blah. Like we get it, it's very flashy. But like to me, I do enjoy I would enjoy kind of a more old school type approach to a movie. Maybe I'm just in the minority of that, but like I'm not going to complain because it's here. It's actually going to come out, so I'm going to take what I can get here. I also just came off 9 seasons of Flash on TV, so you're a Flash fan, you can't really complain too much.
Yeah, I bailed on that I the first few seasons I was all in, and then it got to a point where I was like, I'm not really liking this anymore, so I bailed. But I mean, it had a hell of a run, and I give it that, hell of a run on TV. I just think it's tough. It's a tough. I agree with Goyer. It's tough. So you got to have something that's going to appeal to a broad audience, and then apparently they did it. And the time travel and the alternate realities and universes stuff with the Flash, that's newer Flash, relatively new.
Yeah,
in the grand scheme of things. I mean, he was, when I was a kid growing up, that he ran fast. That was it.
Not really time travel, going on to different Earths that coexist simultaneously. The cosmic treadmill's always been around Flash for a while, so he's always been hopping from place to place. And don't underestimate the fact that Barry's very relatable. Like Barry's main motivation seems like is just to be with his mother, right? Like let's be honest, like he misses his mother. Like I don't know anyone who can't relate to that.
I can't. I don't. I'm not. Look, I fancy myself an amateur Batman historian, but I can't say the same for the Flash. So I'm not sure when did that, Barry's mom die and Reverse Flash stuff? Is that something that's relatively in the grand scheme of the history of the Flash.
I mean,
that's
not
English.
when like Flash was originally like being written back in the day. It's definitely more of a
Yeah.
newer thing, but it's kind of just overtaken as the more definitive. You know, it's been way. It's just now. It's just yeah. This is the Flash's origin.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
Yeah,
I don't want to give
that's-
it a time frame. Hobby would know better than I would. Time wise when that exactly happened, but it's just it wasn't like one of those things that was retconned and written and fans like reject. It was overly like accepted, like okay, this is great. This gives Flash a little bit more depth, and you know, it kind of creates this, you know, the whole mystery of the Man in Yellow and Reverse Flash, the arch enemy who wants to be him so badly that he creates him. And it's kind of fascinating in a way.
So, regardless of how easy or hard it is to do a Flash movie's coming. I have talked to people who have seen it, and I have not heard anything other than it's really, really damn good.
That's great to hear.
And I know nothing about it other than what as much. Well, I'll take that back. I know no one who's seen it has told me anything. There's things I knew before that I know that's in it, but I don't think I'm particularly spoiled because a lot of the stuff I learned early on, we've seen in the promo stuff now. So for the most part, but I'm looking forward to it mainly because of Michael Keaton's return, to be honest. And,
yeah, like that's fun, man. Like I never thought it would happen ever.
No.
I thought his time was gone.
Well, I'm sure he did too. You know,
yeah, like
he
that's,
gets a call out
really
of the blue.
exciting.
Hey, you want to play Batman in a Flash movie?
Yeah,
and, you know, so it's cool. But as we're getting closer here to the release, here in we're down to about 2 months exactly, huh?
Yeah,
does it come out the 23rd? No, the 16th, right?
So it comes out in 2 months.
Yeah, I mean we're essentially exactly 2 months away. I think it's the 16th, right? June 16th. So. Yeah, they moved it back a week. Okay, so there's all the merchandise. All the merchandise is starting to come out. I mean, I got an email from Warner Brothers PR yesterday with all sorts of Flash merchandise, toys, all kind of stuff. And I saw they're doing the Flash ring that's
I did see that.
Yeah,
it looks interesting.
So,
I wonder how you get your shooting there.
Yeah, you're kind of my go-to guy when I to talk about the merchandise around a film. And now I will say I've picked up the two Keaton McFarlane figures, the one regular Batman, and then
you got the Ray Liotta version, right?
Yeah, the one without the mask. And I've got 2 Funko Pops.
Okay.
The Callus Bruce Wayne Batman, just with the bodysuit, and then Batman, Keaton Batman. So I got that. I know you've got like everything that's surrounding this film because I've seen you post it on social media.
There's a few items. I get a little excited when these things come out.
With a kind of a Batman focus, since this is a Batman podcast.
Okay.
What have you picked up from the film, and what do you recommend as well to people who may be curious?
I really McFarlane makes great like 6-7 inch action figures, and there's nothing you can really say about that. Their Affleck figure looks a little funky for this movie. I think they didn't have the likeness rights to Affleck anymore. I think that's why it looks so weird. That's the only reason I could think of, because I've talked to a bunch of people who agree like with the way it looked for the cut figure. It looked basically just like Affleck, right? Like he's got a very distinctive chin. Even in the cowl, you could see his chin. And for the Flash movie, it doesn't look anything like him. So I assume they just lost the likeness rights. And I'm not a fan of that suit, so I passed on that suit. I did order the Keaton figure with the cowl. I don't like really unmasked figures, so I passed on those. I also picked up the 12-inch statue for $40 of Keaton, so I'm excited to see that. But what I
may
really
pick that
actually,
up.
Yeah.
I think that eventually, I think the price will come down. So if it does, here in a while, I'll end up maybe getting that. I just passed on it at this point, but I did get the action figures.
I got really excited. I mean, that whole like, I know it's not really the '89 suit, but it's close enough. It's not even the return suit, but to have that kind of style of Batman in merchandise for me to purchase for really the first time in real time
Yeah,
is a big selling point for me. I was born in '86, so '89. I'm not having much of an income
well,
to come out and buy merch, and even now, some stuff that I've been able to retro collect, it's still been expensive. So in the moment now, it's a little bit cheaper. Like
yeah,
my Bat Missile action car from Batman Returns cost me a couple $100. The one I just got from McFarlane, which I think is so to get this Keaton stuff kind of in real time has been a real joy for me. But so I did pick up that 12-inch statue, and the oval looks great, and he's in a fighting pose, and that's really cool. I think that was around $40. So that's
not too bad,
That's not bad. Then they actually do make a resin statue, which is going to cost you around $250. That's an expensive statue. I didn't buy that. It's a little bit out of my price range.
Yeah.
That, and it comes in a base with the Flash logo, which I thought that was a little funky. I thought they should have done something else, like having Batman stand on a Flash logo, even though it's a Flash movie. It just seems weird. What I really like is the Spin Master toy line. That's like a 4-inch action figure line, and they do some really cool things. You can buy an Amazon exclusive 5-pack of 4 figures. 5-pack of 4-inch figures, which will give you Supergirl, the Flash, the other Flash, General Zod, and Keaton's Batman. They call that like the ultimate pack, and that'll run you about $40. So each figure's around you're paying $40 for 5 figures, which isn't bad. And then they have an Amazon exclusive Batwing set. Now there's 2 Batwing sets. You get the Amazon exclusive Batwing set, which comes with the Batwing, Supergirl, Jax Orr, and the Flash. Okay. Or you can go to Target and get the Target Batwing, which comes with the Flash and Batman. So that's a 4-inch scale bat, which is probably more in line with the Kenner stuff that you guys have collected around '89 time. This stuff will scale really well with that whole superpowers Kenner type action figure, those small figures. Like this will be comparable to that. If you want a Batwing for your McFarlane style figures, there's 2 options. McFarlane will sell you a really well detailed Batwing for about $250. I think it's like 40 inches long. It's really nice. They painted it really well. But when I look at the quality of the Batmobile that I got, and then I look at that, I see a huge jump in price, which for what I figure is just another hollow piece of plastic. So that seems a little strange to me. So, but you can also get the Spin Master $40 Batwing if you want to customize it, because you're going to have to like Dremel out the middle and like do some work there if you want your 7-inch scale figures to fit in there. But that's a nice big Batwing for $40, and it comes with a 12-inch Batman, and that 12-inch Batman will fit in that vehicle. So there's a lot of cool things there.
Okay, I did see I was going to add the Spin Master, because I got some of their merchandise for the Batman, it
was phenomenal. I thought
the Batmobile they had was really nice. I think I'm going to go. That one you said that is it over at Target? They're exclusive. The Batwing, it comes with a Flash and a Batman. Is that right?
Yeah.
What's that run?
If you get the one you mentioned, I think will run you probably between 30 and 40.
Yeah. Okay.
So
That'll
you're
work
around there, and I think that's kind of a steal, getting 2 figures and a vehicle for about $30-$40. I think it's probably more along the lines of $40, but that's really affordable. And what Spin Master does really well, I think, is they do these like playset things. So for the Batman, for instance, like they gave you not only a Batmobile, but you got a muddy Batmobile and Catwoman on bikes, and you got muddy versions. So they do the almost like a variant style like McFarlane was, but they do it in their own way. So like you could also get a Affleck figure with his motorcycle and a Flash figure. That's another play set that's out there. That's another 3-pack. I know they have that. Then they're gonna bring. I think you're gonna have to wait for this because I think they're letting McFarlane have his run. But it's the Spin Master 3-pack with the Keaton Batman, the other Flash with the Keaton cowl, and the Batmobile is another 3-pack that's coming out. So I think they're gonna let the McFarlane Batmobile run its course. But that overall actually is probably my favorite thing I've gotten from this movie.
Is the McFarlane Batman? What'd that run?
That cost me $60.
Okay.
But magnificent. It really is. Like it's well sculpted. The canopy's a little weird because they just painted over clear plastic, but it's for the price I paid. I can't complain, but like it's really fantastic. I'll show you this thing after the show.
God, I've got like
it's huge though.
I've got like 3 different versions of the the Keaton Batmobile, the Batman 89 Batmobile. So I don't know if I'll get that one. You said Spin Masters is making one? A Batmobile?
Yeah, like I know this is great for radio, but it's huge. I mean, look at this thing. It's enormous. It looks fantastic. Like,
it looks good.
It really
does look good.
I was really impressed with it. And there's nothing much to it. Like it's just a hollow piece of plastic. And they give you the old school rubber tires, like the old school toys, which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's going to be hard to find this thing, and I'm sure the secondary market's going to be insane for it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But you know, as a Batman fan, I had to jump at the opportunity, and I have a lot of versions of this.
Yeah, I've got a lot of versions of it, so I don't know if I'll get that. But I mean, if it some point a price drops or whatever, I may pick it up. Did you say there's a Spin Masters version of the Batmobile?
They're going to do that, but I think they're going to wait a little bit because this McFarlane Batmobile kind of took us all by storm and everyone crazy for it.
Okay.
So I think they're going to let McFarlane have his day, and anyone who I think a lot really missed out on this probably will end up getting that. And you should want to get that because, like you said, the Batmobile that they did for the Batman was very impressive. Lights, sound effects, action figure, you know. And batteries included, I believe, and that was I think $35. Like, they're not really expensive, and I think they're very high quality. Spin Master and McFarlane, I think, have done a much better job with all is done within like the last 15 years. Like it's crazy how much better those two companies did. And I was talking to Haas about it, and Haas basically just said, you know, Mattel just split it down the middle. They kind of made 2 average lines, and now, you know, you're getting McFarlane, who, for, you know, I mean, sometimes like the Affleck figure for this Flash movie is a miss, but, you know, the Dark Knight figures you loved, everyone loves those. Like, his action figures are fantastic. These Spin Master figures are nothing to sleep on either. And I believe they even made stuff for Black Adam. So I think the only time they didn't make anything for a movie was Suicide Squad. And I think they just didn't want to sell toys with, you know, suicide on the box to children. I think that was just kind of like right. Like that makes sense to me. Yeah, like I love Spin Master figures. I think I might actually like Spin Master when it comes to this movie stuff overall, because they give you more bang for your buck. You'll get you'll get 2 figures in a vehicle. You'll get an actual play set. Like I bought for the Batman, I went crazy. I mean, I bought a Batcave. I bought a Gordon with a police car. Yeah. You know, I bought the Batmobile. I bought the chase scenes on the motorcycles. Like the variations that they do over at Spin Master is really impressive. And I think for the price, you can't beat it.
Yeah, I picked up, you know, I got the Batmobile. Like I said, I got the wingsuit Batman Spin Master. What else? I picked up some of the little, you know, individual 7-inch figures.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think their stuff's good. So I'm gonna probably definitely get their Batwing version.
The funny thing is their Affleck figure in 4-inch scale, blows the McFarlane figure out of the water. Okay. It actually looks like Ben Affleck. It's the funniest thing. I guess they had the rights.
Yeah. Did you pick up any Funko Pops?
I did. Yeah, I picked up Flash, Batman, and Supergirl. I picked those up a long time ago when those were like the first pieces of merch announced. I remember ordering them from Entertainment Earth. So yeah, I do have those. And that's probably where I'll stop Funko wise. Yeah, unless I can find that Batman in the Batwing. That seems to be pretty cool.
You know, I got the bunch of movie little posters,
Mhm.
11 by 17 in my office. I do have the Keaton Flash movie poster.
There's another one they just released. Collider had it yesterday.
Okay, I have to check
It's a
that
new
out.
poster. I posted on Straight Outta Gotham too, so it might be easier to find there.
Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, we'll be talking a lot of Flash here on Batman on Film because Batman is in the film. Two Batmans. In
Is he?
fact.
Would you say Keaton is the co-star of the film?
Absolutely. Co-lead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
I've
in it
told
that
y'all,
much.
I've said that I told when you asked, I told you that for a long time, man.
Mm.
He's co-lead. Yeah. The only thing, it'll be interesting because the plan was for him to be part of the new DC on film universe after the Flash, and then
That was
that
the
all
Hamada
changed.
plan, right?
Yeah, then that all changed with the with creation of DC Studios and Discovery buying Warner Media and bringing in James Gunn and Peter Safran to run DC Studios. But I don't, I wrote an article about it, an op-ed saying, the Elseworlds banner, which they've talked about, that allows for them to do something with Keaton and Keaton's Batman again, if they want to, under the Elseworlds banner. Will they do that? I don't know. But I mean, I've said before, you created the Elseworlds banner, use it,
Yeah, I don't know if they created it or if it was just already there. Right. I feel like there's certain
Well, you know
things
what I
that are
mean. They
doing well.
they didn't have
know.
to say, yeah, we're going to have an Elseworlds banner at DC Studios, that's outside of the shared stuff. They could have just not done it. So, I've said before, is it there only temporarily for, Joker 2 and the rest of Reeves' The Batman run, which we're going to get to in just a second, or they really plan on actually doing things under that banner? I hope they do, because I think there's some stuff that
I'd like them to.
yeah. And well, I like to see Keaton again, and maybe the Flash. The Flash really kicks ass and does well at the box office. It'll.
To be honest, I'm really hoping it does. This way we can kind of get a Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
That's kind of my dream.
Well, and which there was a script for it,
Yeah, which makes you feel like, oh, there's there's interest there. So
yeah. So we shall see. All right. Speaking of the Batman saga, which I guess that's what they're going to call it, right? Because we got that in the Penguin teaser.
Yeah, I guess you can't you had the Dark Knight trilogy. That was a trilogy.
Saga. Yeah.
This is more than a trilogy because we're going to get the Penguin now.
Yeah.
What do you call it? I'm down with saga. That sounds.
I like the Batman saga. Yeah, I do like it. And that's where I want to go to, because this is kind of a companion podcast to a new article. By the time you listen to this podcast, it'll be on Batman on Film. They're going to go together. That I'm making the argument that, and I did a lot of research. I even put it up over at the Facebook group, asked people their opinion. This is the first time that we've gotten a comic. Now, there's been shared universes before. There's been shared universes going back to like the old Universal monsters with Frankenstein and, Dracula.
You got to be clear here because someone's going to attack you for it.
Well, they have been. Who? I don't care. Let's go. Bring it on.
Bring it on.
They have been. Their shared universes on TV or in the film is nothing. This is nothing new. It wasn't invented by Disney and Marvel films with the MCU. Now, they did it with the superhero genre first and did it very well. But we haven't had it with a single character, a single comic book superhero character. Take that one character and make a cinematic, and in the case of the Batman saga, into comic books, prestige TV, and even in books.
Yeah.
First time with one character, right?
Yeah. I'd have to agree with you. I can't remember something this kind of unified, centered around one individual character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
you mentioned we got that prequel book. We got Riddler Year One and the Penguin. So this is, is it a universe or is it just Batman? I don't know, right? Because it just seems.
Well,
to
Reeves
be...
has called it the Batverse.
Okay.
I've called it the Batman universe, and then of course with the Penguin teaser, they call it the Batman Saga. I really like the Batman Saga, so I'm kind of
Saga
going
makes
with
it
that.
sound different, right? It puts it on a different level.
It makes it sound very prestigious and different. Yes, a different level. So I thought about Spider-Man. So we know that Sony tried, and it's kind of trying in a way to do that with Spider-Man. With the Amazing Spider-Man films was supposed to spawn like
the Sinister
coming out of that?
Six.
Sinister Six and freaking Aunt May origin movie, or
right?
young Aunt May movie.
Aunt May spy prequel. Yeah, they were doing that.
There was something with Black Cat and another Spider-Man character.
Ooh, you're bringing up old Spidey rumors from 2013. Look at you digging.
Well, even in the second Spider-Man, you had, who was it? Rhino showed up briefly. So
Rhino, you got the post-credit scene with the Man in the Hat.
Yeah.
So they tried to do it.
Yeah,
but they seem to have shifted more towards the villains. Like, it's Venom has gotten 2 movies, Morbius has got 1. We're getting Craven. So who knows what they're actually building up to.
And this is what I was asking folks about, because you've had 2 Venom films, third one's on the way. You've had Morbius, which did not do well. You had
Raven the Hunter's coming soon.
Raven the Hunter, yeah, and
Madam Web is in production.
Madam Web they're filming that. So you've got these Spider-Man character solo movies, but it's really iffy on, is there Spider-Man in these worlds? If so, which Spider-Man? And it's not what Reeves is doing and Warner Brothers is doing at all.
No, because to be honest, it's in a way, it's kind of connected to the MCU. So it's not even really, because the Keaton Vulture migrates from the MCU into this Sony universe.
Yeah, he was in
I believe it's the end of Morbius. I believe it's a result of the what is it? Is one of the I guess it would have to be one of the Avengers blip, whatever the Thanos movies are. I don't know. I don't really like them, so screw me. Right? Like, I suck. I don't like Avengers movies. I'm such a horrible person. It's one of those. Like, it's so tied into Sony tries to tie it into the MCU so much that you can't even say it's what it originally was when they tried to do it with Amazing Spider-Man.
Well, what was it in Venom?
Because even Venom made a cameo in No Way Home.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So you've got
he got zapped there and then zapped back to the other. Yeah.
And that's when Keaton did the same thing in Morbius.
Yeah.
That's what I'm sorry. It's not one of the Avengers movies. It was No Way Home. That's the MCU is so forgettable. It's so generic. I blended everything together. Blip me. But yeah, so that's what that was. So it's not even what it was when I think it was Drew Goddard was hired to write Sinister Six. It's a totally different thing now. It's funny because Marvel's hold on here. Not really.
Yeah.
You're not playing their sandbox.
Well, Sony, they had the film rights to Spider-Man, and as long as they keep making Spider-Man films, they retain those rights instead of them reverting 100% back to what would be now to go to Disney. So that's part of the reason. It's almost like these are kind of like the Catwoman film that Warner Brothers made back in the day that
Yeah, I think
It was a
fair
it was a
comparison.
Batman character, but Batman was, and then kind of like Joker, but not nearly as good as Joker,
Yeah, kind of like Steel.
Yeah, there you go. That's another good example.
And Venom does kind of feel like these early 90s CBMs where like Hollywood was like, we know how to do this better than you comic book guys,
Mhm.
like that's kind of how it feels, because it's faithful enough, but not really, that's kind of what these Sony movies are in general. And let's be honest, the Batman is one of the most Batman things you're ever going to watch.
Mhm.
There's no mistaking. There's liberties taken. You want to complain about aesthetics, Kowalski, but he's still Batman doing Batman things. Let's be honest. Like the detective work, the contact lenses, all that jazz. Like it's still the most.
I said when I reviewed it and talked about it on this show back a year ago, I think it's the most Batman film ever. Just straight up Batman film we've seen. And so I think Matt Reeves is breaking ground here because it's actually happening. It's not trying to do like what Sony's, trying to do.
It doesn't feel forced. It feels very natural.
Yeah. So like you mentioned what they've already, I mean, we've got the Batman, but you also have the prequel junior novel, which doesn't read like a kid's book. It's kid friendly, but doesn't read like a kid's book. Did you read that?
No, I did. It's a fast read. It's funny because it's like, oh my God, it's totally made for kids because, it's the pages aren't that big, but the font's huge.
Yeah.
So it's a fast read. But yeah, like that was fascinating. I really dig Riddler Year One. Like I kind of like seeing where that character really developed, his motivations. Like I know it's very well explained in the movie, but I think having Dano write it was pretty interesting. Like, you could
way more detail.
You can kind of see how he prepared for the role. Like this is kind of like, like 100%. I almost think of it as like Heath Ledger's notes, like that notebook he had where he locked himself in the hotel room for a month. Like it's kind of like getting behind the actor and the character and seeing what made them tick. And I really enjoyed that. I'm sure when the Penguin comes out, I'll enjoy it more than anything else. But as of right now, Riddler Year One really has been kind of
very good, very good. And yeah, you've already got a lot of background information on reading that prequel novel, reading and if you have not read, if you're not a comic book person and you're listening to this, you watch the movies, whatever, it's cool. When that trade comes out for the Riddler Year One, pick that up. It's great. I would highly recommend getting that junior novel. You can probably get it for next to nothing now on Amazon.
When it came out, it was next to nothing. It was like $10 when they published it originally. It's very inexpensive.
It's not like you're gonna get a $30 book or anything like that. It's real very affordable.
You can read it in like an hour and a half.
Tells you get some insight even with Bruce Wayne in it.
There's a lot of backstory behind it.
Yeah, and the Riddler Year One is great. We got the Batman. We're the Penguin is coming, which they've built the next chapter in the Batman saga, and then 2025 we're getting the Batman Part 2, and hopefully maybe there'll be another. I would like to see it expand. They've talked about the Arkham series. Reeves has said that even though the original idea for the Gotham City PD story morphed into this Arkham thing. The Arkham, a GCPD show is still a potential project that could be part of.
Well, that's good. World. I mean, to be honest, like I'm willing to wait and see. Okay, let's see what happens after Penguin and after the second movie, and then just natural progression. Like, where's the story go from there? Like, it seems just natural that after the Batman we get this Penguin show. Right. It just made a lot of sense. So let's see what happens after the second movie and see where that takes us before we decide on whatever. Because who knows what character comes out of the Batman 2 and really steals the show. Because did anyone expect Penguin to be kind of like the character in, because he's not really in the movie a lot, to not only get to not only steal the movie, but to get his own show. Right? Like he's a very important character. You know, he's basically the information of all the movie, and then he sets Gordon and Batman in the right direction, right? You know, because he's the only one who can speak Spanish. You know, like Matt Reeves has a way of making you kind of fall in love with one character in a movie. Like he first did this to me in his last Planet of the Apes movie with Bad Ape. I love that character, and he's only in the movie for like half the movie. So like he's got a way of writing certain characters a certain way. So like, you know, who knows what character even comes out of the Penguin? Like I don't know how much involvement Reeves has in this, but I'm sure he's got some oversight. But let's see what happens after the Batman 2, because there's going to be a character that pops out of that film that no one saw coming.
Even though there's a showrunner and whatnot, and they're having directors, Matt Reeves all over the Penguin, you know, as far as the direction and the story and whatnot.
I wonder how much time he's on set for that.
Not sure about that. I know he's directing some stuff, some streaming, something. I talked about it here. I think it was me and you, right? He took a gig to direct some sort of mini series about something. Someone will bring it up. I forgot what it is, but he's directing some episodes of that. Like I think his production company's making it.
What is it? Sixth in Idaho? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. It's some sort of, I want to say it's like a biopic type thing.
Okay. Well, I'm sure he's going to make
anyway.
I know he's not going to be there every day, but I'm sure he'll make an appearance.
Yeah.
And whatnot,
and you know, and then, you know, the Batman 2 starts filming here in November.
Because he's probably still writing that, you know, like him and Tomlin.
Yeah. Scuttlebutt is that thing is probably done, at least.
Okay,
you know,
so he was.
They always polish it, you know. It keeps being polished.
He probably
and stuff
carries
like
it with him, and he had it.
Sure. So, yeah, I think you know, Reeves is doing something different with the superhero genre that we haven't seen before,
and it's something that we probably need right now in this moment in time, right? Shazam bombed, Ant-Man bombed. Everyone's talking about superhero fatigue. You know, maybe this is just a little bit out of the ordinary that this catches some extra attention, you know, movie, TV show.
Yeah. You haven't
one
had
character,
and
one thing, you know,
I think
maybe this is what we need right now.
I think there are two characters in comic books that you can do this with. Batman is one, and the other is Spider-Man. Spider-Man's got a great cast of secondary characters, villains and good guys. So I think Sony had the right idea. You know, let's have a Spider-Man, you know, universe, but they just couldn't. They didn't pull it off. You know what I mean?
Execution.
So, and Batman, I can't fathom. I just can't. And I'm not a creative, so I don't know if there's any characters other than those two that are popular enough with the mainstream audience, the general audience, and have such a rich history.
I'd like to say Superman, but he just doesn't do it for most people. He just doesn't resonate. But you would think that character has exactly.
I mean, you would think,
tools and characters that Superman, that Batman and Spider-Man have. You know, there's no reason why Superman should be left out. I think he's just, in terms of a character, he's got everything that those two do.
We've had Superman on TV, and it's done well in that medium. And the shows have been, you know, Smallville. You know, it was a niche show, but I mean, what would you do? What would be? I mean, you could do a Lex Luthor show, like the Penguin, but I can't think of very much you could really expand the world of Superman to other things that would to make up this build a whole universe around Superman.
You don't think you could do something about Daily Planet and some sort of like investigative journalism show, stuff like that? Yeah. I just, you know, and maybe that's what the character needs, maybe some kind of out of the box thinking to kind of get people interested again. But I think Superman has everything that Batman and Spider-Man have, but for some reason he's just not able to captivate an audience the way we think he should, which is sad.
Yeah. A lot riding on that Superman Legacy movie, man. I've said
Yeah.
it before. I'll say it again. A lot riding on it.
We all know how Warner Brothers loves to react. So
Yeah.
there is a hell of a lot riding
And
on.
yeah, and
That's why I think James Gunn is pretty brave for taking this on himself.
yeah,
Bet on
Yeah.
yourself.
sure.
Do it.
We know Batman will survive. We know
Yes.
Spider-Man will survive over at Marvel. So, but since this is a Batman show and I'm a Batman
The real
fan,
question
first
is,
and
will
foremost,
Gotham
you know,
Knights survive more than one season? That's the real question.
I would not.
And that's the question that's on
bet
Bat
that it
fans'
will.
minds everywhere. Like, it's the hottest show on TV. Everyone's talking about it on Twitter. I can't stop talking about it. I got Bill to watch 15 minutes of it. It's all the
15
rage.
minutes. 15 minutes. That was it. Yeah, that's all I could take.
But I got 15 minutes out of him. So
I thought I would just, at least as a Batman fan, at least see some of it, so I can have at least my opinion. I could, I don't have an opinion like, well, that's shit. Well, did you watch it? No. So how do you know? I mean, at least I watched to find out. Hey, it was what it was, man. I'm glad you're loving it. Enjoy.
it's so bad it's good. There's a lot of moments where me and Haas are on the phone, like, do they really think fans want like these like reimagined scenes of our favorite movies in these bad shows? Like, there's this
Oh
one
my
scene
gosh.
where they're just throwing money out like it's 89 to the parade.
Yeah.
Me and Haas are just laughing. Oh, it's
gosh.
so funny. It's good
Well, I'm
stuff.
glad you're getting a kick out of it, Pete. So
Why be miserable?
yeah. Well, I'm not.
Why
Yeah.
be miserable? Let me enjoy. If they're gonna make it, I'm gonna try to find some way to enjoy it.
Oh, always the optimist. All right. So with that, we'll get on out of here. Do your thing. Plug.
You can follow me on social media. That's Twitter, Instagram, Mastodon, and Zack Snyder's favorite platform, Vero at Pete Illustrated. You can follow podcast number 1. That's a news-based podcast that I co-host with the champion of Long Island, Eric Holzman. That's straight out of Gotham at straight_O_G on both Instagram and Twitter. Join our Facebook group or a Facebook fan page. A lot of good stuff going on there, news articles and discussions. So that's fun there. If you like Batman on film, you'll like us. Check out my other podcast, the Italian Spider-Man Coalition podcast at Italians for Spidey. I do that with Nicholas and Nico Caruso. I'm also monthly on the Batman Book Club with Ryan Lauer. We discuss Batman comics every month, all the Batman titles. DC likes to challenge us every month, and we accept it willingly and stupidly. And check me out, Batman on Film YouTube, batmanonfilm.com. I got toy reviews and interviews and comic book reviews and articles and all that stuff over there. And I think that sounds about it.
DC cutting the number of titles they're publishing.
It's not, they're not cutting the titles. They're going through that like dawn of DC transition. So they're kind of they're making an emphasis of like, hey, new writing teams are joining these titles. So they're not really cutting down. They're just kind of shifting things really at the moment.
So it just looks, when I see each week for the, the preview files, it just not as lengthy as it was at one time.
At one point, it was really crazy. They were a ton of.
It was too much. What is the dawn of DC? I mean, that's
It's like they just had a crisis recently, so now it's like
oh god,
new, like, yeah.
We get another reboot.
Not really. I think this is going to be a very soft reboot. I think this is
Okay.
just kind of like new writing teams are going to all take over the titles 1 month, and we'll start from there.
Who's doing Batman and Detective next? I should know this, but I don't.
Ram V is still on Detective, and I believe Zdarsky is
He's continuing on.
He's there's gonna be some sort of Batman Catwoman thing going on. Not Batcat. We're not talking like a love interest really type thing. Well, not as lovey dovey as probably Tom King, but I believe Zdarsky and Teenie Howard are gonna do this Batman Catwoman thing. So yeah, I think that's the next step.
And that's going to be Batman? Or
It's
its
going to
own
be a
thing?
carrying over story between Batman and Catwoman.
Oh
So
gosh.
it'll probably a story that'll probably intertwine.
Okay.
Right now, Catwoman's
So-
locked up in jail. It's actually a very interesting
So
story.
Zdarsky is staying on as the main writer of the Batman title.
I believe so. Yeah, for a
Okay.
while. I don't think he's going.
All right. I liked
It's gotten better.
this. I've liked this, the Batman of Gotham. So cool. Whatever. All right. Well, for me, just go to Batman on Film, batman-on-film.com. The shows that Pete mentioned, this show, all part of the Batman Podcast Network. There are others. You can go to Batman on Film, the website, just find the logo or the drop down box under podcasts. Find the Batman Podcast Network and check out some of those other shows that are part of that, part of our little podcast network. If you like what we do here at Batman on Film, you can support us. You can buy t-shirts at TeePublic. Got the Batman 25th anniversary. Get all kind of gear for that. Currently, that's the big thing. Patreon.com, patreon.com/Batman on Film. And if you'd like to advertise on Batman on Film, advertisecast.com/Batman on Film as well. All links to all that can be found on Batman on Film proper. So go there and find it all. All right, that's all I got. Announcer Rachel that's a good looking Batmobile. Yeah. Did it light up?
No, it just
Oh,
it's
it
been
looked like
shiny.
it looked like okay. It looked like I can see some purplish.
No, it's
light.
my LED.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll hand it over to Announcer Rachel. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Batman on Film Social Hour, Jett's official BOF podcast and vlog. Follow Jett on Twitter at Batman on Film. For BOF news only on Twitter, follow at the Batman on Film. For Jett and everyone at BOF, I'm Announcer Rachel. Authoritative, definitive, the original Batman on Film.